Hi, I'm Zygor from ZygorGuides.com. In this video, you'll be able to see the Zygor difference as we compare a Zygor leveling guide with another generic leveling guide. Let's take a look at what happens when we enter the game for the first time with a new character with the generic leveling guide. The first thing you will notice is that it displays no guide loaded when you first enter the game. We have to actually click the guide and select the guide we want to use. We're a human, so let's select the 1 through 12 human guide. Now let's see what happens when we enter the game with a new character using a Zygor leveling guide. The Zygor leveling guide automatically detects your character's race and starts you off using the appropriate guide. You don't have to do anything at all. Another thing you will notice is the difference in design between the two guides. While the generic leveling guide is very small and compact, it is also very dull and boring. Using a Zygor guide is exciting, with a beautiful design that is even customizable to suit your own unique style. Now let's start using the guides to see how they do. Within only minutes of starting to play using the generic leveling guide, we are told to complete tasks in the guide in a totally illogical order. A guide that will point you in the wrong direction to do steps in an illogical order is not what you want. When using a Zygor guide, you can be at ease knowing that the guide will never point you in the wrong direction. Zygor guides tests and retests our guides over and over again to make sure you never run into a guide step that points you in the wrong direction. And even if you need extra information about a guide step, Zygor Guides provides extremely detailed quest information directly inside the guide window for your convenience so that you will never be lost and confused. That would involve thinking on your part, and we don't want that. After all, the Zygor Guides motto is, don't think, just play. Now we'll resume using the generic guide to play. However, within just a few more minutes of playing, we're confronted with an impossible task. I'm a professional gamer, so let's see if I can conquer this task. Unfortunately, even as a professional gamer, I am unable to do what the generic leveling guide is instructing me to do. It is simply impossible to complete this task at such a low level. Now let's watch as we attempt this same task when the Zygor leveling guide instructs us to do it. Amazing, we are victorious. Using the Zygor guide, we have defied the impossible. With a Zygor leveling guide, you will never be faced with an impossible task in the entire time using a Zygor guide, much less within the first few minutes of starting a brand new character. At Zygor Guides, we continuously analyze the questing paths in our leveling guides to make sure they are logical and possible so that your leveling experience can be fun-filled and smooth. We've seen how the two guides function in the early stages of the game. Now let's see what happens a little later in the game. Let's create a Death Knight, shall we? Using the generic leveling guide, we've created a Death Knight. Immediately upon entering the game and selecting the Death Knight 55 through 58 guide, we are confronted with a message saying, Waypoint arrow doesn't work here. The Scarlet Enclave is considered an instance and the add-on can't place a waypoint. We still added coordinates to the notes if you have any problems finding things. That's extremely unfortunate as we were really excited about leveling our brand new Death Knight. However, it seems we've hit a bump in the road and we won't be able to do that. Sorry. Now let's see how a Zygor leveling guide handles the exact same situation. Awesome! We enter the game with our new Death Knight and we're ready to go. The guide has already selected the Death Knight starter guide for us, and we also have this cool arrow to point us exactly where to go. Yet again, we've defied the impossible using a Zygor guide. So there's a short comparison of a generic leveling guide with a Zygor leveling guide. As you can see, it can be a pretty big difference. Being that Zygor guides are slightly more expensive, you may be hesitant to purchase from Zygor guides. But with a difference in price of only a few dollars, you may as well go with the most trusted name in WoW leveling guides, Zygor Guides. So if you've been thinking about purchasing a different guide because it's a little bit cheaper, you should know that there's a reason it is cheaper. You may end up with a mediocre product that will leave you frustrated. Don't take that risk with your hard-earned dollars. Go with the guide company who has proven time and time again that quality is the highest priority. Choose Zygor Guides today.